Okay, 7th grade, my apologies, this video was too long, but here is the second half of this video. A chart based on information. Okay, so sometimes they'll give us information that looks like this. They'll say that we have this guy who has, if you look, this is example 2. So, sorry, if you want to follow along, this is example 2. He has $20 for church. Okay, he spends $20 on church, $15 on savings. I don't know why that extra one got in there. $15 on savings. Okay, he has $30 on a trip, $5 on snacks. Hey, mine would be a lot bigger on snacks, honestly. $50 on paintball. That's a solid choice. And $60 on soccer cleats. Ooh, really good choice. $60 on cleats, okay? So you want to follow along on example 2. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this, so pause it if you need to write that down. What I'm going to do is going to take one at a, the first thing I got to do is add them all up. So I do 20 plus 15 plus 30 plus 50 plus 5 plus 60. Okay, that's just all of them added up, and that's $180. Okay, that's the total amount. So that's the total circle, when I have this pie chart, is going to represent $180. So when I split it up in different ways, it's got to add up to 180. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Not too bad. So we found that out, 180. Now, I want to find the percent of each one. So I do 20 divided by 180. That represents his church. 20 divided by 180 is 11%. That means on the circle, his little section that's church is going to be 11%. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. His little circle is going to be 11 for the church. Then I take the 15 in the savings, 15 divided by 180, and that equals 8%. So I know that that's only going to be a small 8%. Then I take 30 out of 180, and that is a solid 17%. Okay? Then I take 50, right, his more expensive stuff, divided by 180, and I get 28%. Okay, if you're following along on the book, in the book, this will be easy. 5 out of 180 is very small. It's 3%. And then lastly, his soccer cleats, 60 out of 180. That is a third of his money, so that's 33%, okay? So you see all these percents, 11, 8, 17, 33, 3, and 28. Now we got to put all of those in a pie chart, or in a circle graph as they call it. So the first thing we have to do is find out how many degrees each one of those is. So if you remember, the 11% has to be times our 360 degrees. Okay, now 11% is 0.11. We got to convert it. And when we do that, we get 40 degrees. So this 11%, which represents church, is going to be 40 degrees on your protractor, okay? Now, the next one here is the 8%, so that's 0.08 times 360. And for the 8% one, we get a total of 29 degrees. Okay, then for the next one, that was 17%, 0.17 times 360. We get 61 degrees. Then for the next one, that's 28% times 360, we get 101 degrees. Then for our 0.03%, we're not going to get very much here for times 360. It's going to be a pretty small number. It is only 11 degrees on the protractor. And then lastly, we get 33%, 0.33 times 360. What's a third of 360? That's basically 119, okay? 119 degree angle. So, now that we have all that, which you can see this on example 2, now it's time to draw this, and this is the fun part. So, I take this big circle, as big as I can make it here, and I'm going to take, what I'm going to do here is we're going to have a center point. What I need to do first is we're going to say about here is the center, right? We'll call that the center. Pretty close, not exact, that's okay. Now, I need the first one. If you remember what the first one was, it was 11%, which was 40 degrees, and that was the church. Okay? 40 degrees, and that was the church. So I'm going to go down here to 0. There's 0. And I'm going to draw my line to go through my center, like that. Now I'm going to go up to 40 degrees. 41, 30. Like that. Draw my line, and boom, this guy is now church. Okay, he's 40 degrees, and I'm going to put out here 11%. Okay, next I have 8%. Okay, 8%, which was only 29 degrees. And that is the savings. So now I go from this line, right, and I'm going to add, I was at 40, and I need to add 29 degrees to 40. 40 plus 29 is 69. So now I got to go all the way to, boom, all the way to 69. Okay, now I draw my line. Boom. Now this guy here is the 8. This is the savings. So I'm just going to put saving. Okay, everybody see how we did that? Now, the next one that we have is 17%, which is equal to 61 degrees. 61 degrees. And that is the theme park. Okay, this is the park. So now I'm going up 61 degrees. Does anybody remember I was at 69? So I do 69 plus 61, which I go to 70 and then add 60. So I'm going to be at 130. Okay? Now the problem is, this is 180 right here, right? 0 is back to 180. So I'm going to be at 130. So now the trippy part here is I have to go, what is 180? 180 minus the 130 that I'm trying to get to. Well, that's 50. Okay. So now it's easier on your protractor because it doesn't go back to 0. You can just go to 130. But I have to do it this way and go all the way up to 50. And now I've had 69 plus, there we go. So this guy right here, 17%, is our park. Okay, if that confused you, that's okay. On your protractor, you can just go from this side over here to on the left and just go a total of 130. Okay, that will be easy. Next, what we have is 28%, and 28% is 101 degrees. 101 degrees. Okay, now I have to go 50 to get to the bottom, to get flat, and then I have to go another, so I need to go 50 to there, but then I have to go another 51, so I got to go all the way to 51 degrees. Draw this line, and this guy down here is now, what stood for 50 was the gun. Okay, so that's the 28%, the gun. Okay, now the next one is only 3%, which is only 11 degrees. So I go from 51, I add 11, which is, if you add 11 to 51, you get 62. Okay, so now I just got to get this guy in place at 62, which is about right there. So this little bitty one, this down here, represents the 3%, which is snacks. There's our 3%, okay? Now the last one we got to do is the biggest one of all, and we shouldn't have to draw. We just have to see if we did this right. Okay, because the last one here is going to be 119 degrees. It is 33%, 119 degrees. And you can see right here, right, I have 60. So I have 90 when I get straight up, 90. And then it goes back down, so I have a full 90 plus, what is 90 minus 62? That is 28, and I add that, and I get 119 roughly. It's about 118, I think. So it roughly adds up to the right thing. It doesn't come out to be exact all the time, but I do know that now that this is the cleats, and this is 33%. right? It is a third of this chart. Okay, so I'm sorry for that longer explanation, but that's how we do it. If you get confused, you can look at other YouTube videos. But the homework for this lesson is, this is 10.5. This is page 451. And we are going to do 1 through 21 all. Okay, and then we're going to try some of the harder ones. We're going to try 37 and 38. Okay, there you go. That's your homework. I hope you enjoy your weekend. I hope it's been good. So hopefully you're watching this on Monday morning. Enjoy the beginning of this week. There is our homework. Please email me with questions. Mr. H is over and out.